This was the goal all season long, Niner fans. Getting the number 1 seed. Getting that first round bye. And we're seeing how big that's going to be heading into these playoffs. Because Christian McCaffrey has a calf strain. Ambry Thomas, broken hand. Eric Armstead, still not playing. Not going to play this week. He'll be more rested and hopefully ready to go because they need him desperately. For as much as this was a shellacking in the second half, Sam Howell, the Commanders, Ron Rivera, Bieniemy, everyone there, they were in this game for probably a lot longer than most Niner fans wanted to admit. They were running the ball down their throat. They were hitting passes. Lenore was getting cooked. Thomas at times was getting cooked. They got talent over there. I'm not saying they don't have any. Just not a lot in comparison to teams like the Niners, teams like the Ravens in Washington. But they were hanging around. But the Niners ultimately did what good teams do. They put them away 27-10. And more importantly, Brock Purdy looked like Brock Purdy again. I mean, that was it, right, Sam? If anything you take out of this game, and clinching the number 1 seed, obviously, but your quarterback, your young quarterback, the guy that was an MVP candidate just a few weeks ago before having the worst game of his career on Monday night on Christmas against the Baltimore Ravens, he looked to be back in control.
No, I think that was probably, that's definitely one of the big takeaways there. The other one is, Christian McCaffrey a little banged up there with the calf. I obviously mentioned Ambry Thomas's hand, but Eric Armstead. McCaffrey, it's a good one there.
He's never heard that in his whole life.
Eric Armstead, again, dealing with the foot and knee injuries. They're continuing to rest him. They expect him to be ready soon. Again, are the 49ers fully healthy here at the end of the year? No, but when you look around the league at some of the other teams and the health issues that they're dealing with right now, the 49ers are still sitting pretty. And I would say this for the 49ers and the way the season's gone, it's been a very successful regular season. You got through the season. You got the 1 seed like expected. You don't have to go on the road anymore. And you did it early enough to where you get to take the last week of the season off, basically. And you did all of it while maintaining a good level of health. Again, like I said, McCaffrey, Thomas, Armstead, those are concerning injuries. But for the most part, it sounds like all 3 of those guys will be ready to go come to, divisional weekend in a couple weeks. If you're the 49ers, this is about as good of a regular season as you could have really asked for. And it's at a situation now, it's like, all right, you got, goal 1 accomplished. Win the regular season, get that 1 seed, get that bye week. All right, there we go. The pressure, I think, kind of ramps up a little bit now for the 49ers because the excuses are starting to dwindle now. You don't have to go on the road anymore. You don't have guys as banged up anymore. The guys who are banged up, they will be ready to go. And this is what you live for the 49ers. This is what you live for if you're a 49ers fan. This is what you want. This is the most ideal situation I think you could have possibly asked for. And that's my big takeaway for the weekend is that, all right, mission 1 accomplished. Now on to mission 2, which is Operation Let's Go to Las Vegas and 2 wins.
There you go. That's Sam Lubman alongside Joe Spadoni here on the Morning Roast. 888-957-9570. How confident are you in this 49ers squad after they clinched the number 1 overall seed in the NFC? They're chilling in the last week, and boy, do they need it. Again, Christian McCaffrey has a calf strain. Eric Armstead, we'll see what's going on with the foot. The plantar fasciitis, nothing to snuff at. We obviously attribute a lot of that to a basketball injury with all the big men, big feet, I remember Pau Gasol struggled with that throughout his career, the plantar fascia and the tears in it, especially with these big guys. And Eric Armstead is no little human being, quite large and a lot of weight on that foot. So get him rested up, and they desperately need him again in that running game because Kinlaw in his absence, not that great.
It's been pretty bad in the middle.
Hargrave he's very good. I would say defending the run is not his strong suit. When he has the 1-2 tandem with Armstead, it's very good, but that is a noticeable gap in this squad. And by the way, took the over, right, on the Chase Young sacks. We took that, right? He got a sack, right? Am I tripping? I know he got a tackle for loss. Pretty sure he got a sack in there. Maybe if he didn't, don't quote me on that. 888-957-9570. But watching that game, more importantly for me, was Brock Purdy just not having any turnovers, looking complete in control. And that game against the Ravens looks like a one-off. Like that, for me, I need my young quarterback to be in the right mental space heading in to the playoffs. I don't care about the rest versus Russ, and we'll get into that because it's going to obviously dominate the conversation now. God, how many weeks do we have with basically meaningless football for the 49ers? 3 weeks now?
2 weeks, basically, yeah. Then we're getting ready for the divisional
round.
And
then we're getting ready for the divisional round. Who are they going to play there? We shall see. Could it be the Rams that you're facing this week? Rams still have something to play for, but I don't know how much they're going to be invested in this game. I mean, who they're cherry picking against basically.
I think they're locked in with the 6th seed now.
Are they? Is it complete?
Yeah, the second place in the NFC East is going to get the 5 seed, and I think they own the tiebreaker over Seattle.
Is it locked in that they're playing the Lions yet? Because that's what I think that's what it's going to be.
So
right?
let me, if I pull up the standings here, let's see. So Green Bay currently holds the 7th seed, game behind the Rams. Looks like, basically, the Rams might need to win because depending on conference record or strength of victory.
Yeah, the strength of victory is always the weird one because that doesn't end until the last game of the season, and then you get to pile up all the stuff. Yeah.
Right now, the Rams have a better conference record, but the Packers have a better strength of victory record. If the Packers win this weekend against the Bears, which maybe not that, which it's not a given. Bears been playing pretty well the last few weeks.
Yeah, they have been.
If they are tied, then they would have the same conference record. If it goes to strength of victory, then I think that would favor the Packers. So, Rams, they do have a little something to play for then in that sense because, you do not want to fall into that 2 seed and have to go to either Philly or Dallas in the first round.
No, but the Rams are one of the hottest teams in football. They hang on against the downtrodden Tyrod Taylor-led New York Giants over the weekend. Just a tremendous weekend of football. And if you're the 49ers, you're the king of it right now. Well, outside of the Baltimore Ravens, who again destroyed the Miami Dolphins, are they potentially on a collision course here to the Super Bowl? Because I'm looking at this conference in the NFC, Sam. You said there's a lot of pressure on the Niners, and I understand that to a degree. But I'm so damn confident in this team. Them getting definitely the 1 seed, the rest versus the rust factor, that would matter. I feel like if you were Detroit Lions, if they were the 1 seed, and by the way, the Detroit Lions, again, talking about a banner weekend for the sport of football, Lions got hosed on Saturday night against the Dallas Cowboys. Absolutely screwed out of a win. Now, that shouldn't even come to fruition, that entire sequence, because Mike McCarthy's an idiot and doesn't know how to, milk clock. His clock management skills are some of the worst I've seen outside of maybe Andy Reid. And Andy Reid's obviously, thank you. Thank you, Mike McDaniel. I love that drop.
Speaking of Mike McDaniel,
it's come on, Mike McCarthy. That is why I have so much damn confidence in this Niners team, because you saw the arrogance factor. I shouldn't say arrogance, but I saw the uncontrolled fury, if you will. I know Dan Campbell spoke to the media yesterday. He said a controlled fury after being upset about the lineman. Did he or did he not report as eligible? All that sort of stuff. If you didn't watch the game over the weekend, Lions had multiple cracks at trying to win the game, going for the 2-point conversion. They didn't get it. They got a little too aggressive there, I thought. Probably should have just played for overtime. They didn't do that. They ended up losing the game. Very controversial. But that took them out of the running for the 1 seed, obviously. And that was the day before the Niners ended up getting the win. And then finally, and I know we're going to hear a lot from a lot of callers today, 888-957-9570, the Arizona freaking Cardinals getting it done over Nick Sirianni. Jonathan Gannon revenge game coming over to Philly. And honestly, I don't think the final score really did it justice. Arizona kicked their ass. They really did. There was some bad turnovers there that really made the Philly in that game, the Eagles that is. But Kyler Murray, he was balling. That defense was humming. James Conner running it down their throat. And Philly now traveling, potentially. Traveling in the first round after
that much
dominating
NFC title game rematch that we've been waiting for. Spinelli, we might not even get it.
No.
This whole year has been about Operation 1 Seed, Operation let's have the Eagles come out here so we can have their fans have to walk through the parking lot to get to the stadium. And we might not even get that because the Eagles, they're going to probably go on the road for the first round to whichever garbage heap comes out of the NFC South. They'll probably win that.
Baker Mayfield and
co. I don't know. We'll see. It depends what happens in the first. I mean, it could get in the divisional round too, I guess. So it's still actually on the table, a potential Eagles-Niners rematch. But
I wouldn't bet on it. I think the Eagles are going to be one and done. They look.
Oh no! If they have to go to Tampa, I think they could beat Tampa.
They could probably beat Tampa,
or New Orleans, or again whichever slop heap comes out. The entire NFC South could put together an all-star team in that division. I still would take the Eagles probably over that team.
Well, we'll see. We've seen that whole narrative get shot in the past here. Obviously, the Bucs did it last year against the Cowboys. They weren't very good. They lost, but we can go back to the Beastquake and the Seahawks taking on the defending champion New Orleans Saints. crazy things happen.
No, absolutely true. And if it does, it would be one of the crazier things to happen if the Eagles did get bounced in the first round by the NFC.
See, that's what I'm saying. Would it be that crazy?
I think it would, considering
right now.
No, they do. No, it would be crazy, and just how the expectations for them coming into this season. You guys, they lost the Super Bowl. They think they're the big bads of the NFC. It's all about this Niners-Eagles rematch. Who can? And then it ends with them getting meekly kicked out of the playoffs in the first round in Tampa. Like, after all the expectations that were on the Eagles coming into the season, all the smack talk they were willing to do, and then it ends like that. They're not even good enough to make the rematch happen. That would be wild. It would be a massive disappointment on their end as well.
It'd be disappointing, but this is a Super Bowl hangover type of year. This is what happens with Super Bowl teams, whether you win it, whether you lose it. All your coaches get poached, and you suffer because of it. And we're seeing that with Nick Sirianni now. Doesn't have Shane Steichen, who got a massive win against Antonio Pierce. Thank you. Got a massive win against Antonio Pierce and the Las Vegas Raiders. They're in prime position. That's now a win and get-in scenario against C.J. Stroud and the Texans. That's going to be very fun. I think that's an ESPN game primetime. Colts, Texans this week in Indianapolis. Cannot wait for that one. Gardner Minshew magic. Again, man, just finding a way to win and eliminating the Raiders over the weekend. But Shane Steichen doing a hell of a job. He'd probably be up for Coach of the Year, if not for Kevin Stefanski and what he's doing with Cleveland. And then you got Jonathan Gannon. And say what you will about the Cardinals, I think a lot of people thought they were easily going to be far and away the worst team in the league this year. And the record-wise, they're 4-12. They're tied with the Commanders, one of the worst in the NFC. But if you just watch them play week in and week out, they're showing something. They're showing something going forward there. And Kyler Murray, I wouldn't close the door on him being done out there in Arizona just yet. I thought he played well against Philadelphia as well. So you're seeing it with the Super Bowl team. You're seeing it with the Chiefs, to be quite honest. The Chiefs were struggling against the Jake Browning-led Cincinnati Bengals.
Their defense won them that game.
No, they did.
That was not like Patrick Mahomes again has come to the point where like every time he throws the ball, it's you're clenching your butt cheeks. You don't know what's going to happen.
Did I see it's an NFL record for most drops for wide receivers in a given season?
I think we got 26 was the number I saw.
Something ridiculous.
It's comical at this point. It's like you have to try to drop those many passes. And yeah, the Chiefs, they absolutely got bailed out by their defense in that game because the Bengals really just could not get anything going in the fourth quarter. So don't forget, Kansas City, they got a defense there too. It's not just Patrick Mahomes.
No, but for the longest time, you felt like if you just had Patrick Mahomes, you had a chance. And while that may be true, Travis Kelce, I mean, is he just getting old now? Is this like, or is it just no talent else around him, so everyone's just hammering in on Travis Kelce, or is it the Taylor Swift curse?
I think shake it off.
I think that's what it is. You got to shake it off. It's been a cruel, not summer, but a cruel winter for Travis Kelce.
That's a 3.
Thank you. 888-9